just want to let you all know that if you have probably seen it in our email, we're going to have some volunteer opportunities going on this week with Sombrero Fest, and you are still able to join us. We're actually going to be there today from 6 to 12 a.m., on Friday from 6 to 12 a.m., and on Saturday from 11 to 3. We're going to be actually helping out the Sombrero Fest organizers, and we're going to be like handing out the beer and stocking up the beer and stuff like that. So you don't have to actually be TABC certified. You can help behind the scenes too. And that's a great way to get your volunteer hours to participate here in the IMA with us. If you want to sign up for that or you want more information after the meeting, you can go outside to the main courtyard, and our director, Frank Barreda, will be there to assist you and give you a little bit more of information. In order to get into the Sombrero Fest, he will give you a bracelet so you don't have to pay for like the access into the park. So we're going to begin already with our presentation for today, and we have Michael Limas, we have Andres Shane, and we have Marco Ochoa, and I hope you really enjoy our meeting, and if you have any questions about applications or anything else, you can approach us in the front at the end. Thank you.
So I'm just going to do a quick intro. Thank you for having me. I've actually spoken to this organization a couple of times over the last 3 or 4 years. My name is Michael Limas. I'm the Divisional Vice President with AXA Advisors. And just a quick snapshot for those of you that are not familiar with AXA, we're a global institution in over 60 different countries. Here in the United States, we're headquartered in New York City. And more specific to Texas, we have about 350 associates like Andres, and we manage about $5 billion here in the state. So we're not a mom and pop type shop. We're, like I mentioned, the 16th biggest company in the world. So we're right between Apple and GM. So we're a massive institution, and I actually started doing presentations a few years back, and Andres was one of the few individuals who pursued an opportunity with AXA. So it's a pretty rigorous interviewing process. It's a gauntlet of interviews. There's 3 interviews that we go through. And Andres was able to be successful in every facet of the interviewing process. And he's been on board with us now for a little bit over a year now, and he's done extremely well. He has all his securities license, so he's a comprehensive financial planner. So I know this is heavy on the accounting side, but we actively recruit on the business school here at UTB and UTPA. So Andres is going to tell you a little bit about his experience. It's a very challenging business, but it's not only financially rewarding, but it's emotionally rewarding because we're making significant impact on people's lives, and it's for the better. So it's a pretty amazing career opportunity, and he'll touch on it and also answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Like Andres and Michael Limas, I work for another company that's in the same sector, and it's Primerica. And we're just as large, and we're located as all over the United States. And we have about over $70 billion of assets under management, and we have about $700 billion of life policies out there. And so we're a huge company, and we recently established ourselves in Brownsville, out of Houston. And so I had one of my leaders come down here and get settled here in Brownsville, and we've been going to BISD, going throughout the departments, giving these financial wellness workshops and educating these teachers as well as many people throughout the Brownsville about their finances and how to prepare for retirement and many different things as they've already spoken to you about. So we do many things that are very related, and we are affiliated with many different businesses. And so we do have a lot of benefits being a part of our company. And we're currently here trying to just, try to make an impact, definitely a big impact in the financial sector. There's about 90% of Brownsville that definitely needs our help, and we're trying to reach out to every single one of them. And yeah, that's a little introduction.
And I'm Andres Shane, like Mike said, I used to be president of the Accounting Society IMA, really like a weird fun at that time, but that was a couple of years ago. And yeah, I enjoy working for AXA. How many of you are going to graduate at the end of the semester? Show of hands.
1, 2.
2? Okay, good. So this gives you guys a lot of time to get your resumes ready. When I graduated, you know, when I tell all my ex-professors this, the only date that I could remember was May 10th, 2013. May 10th, 2013. For like 2 years. On May 11th, I woke up and I thought, man, what am I going to do? I already graduated. I got to go find a job. You know, you had a goal stuck in your head, and you're like, I need to do this. So I had to go out, look for a job. You know, looking at accounting, looking at something. Obviously, I wanted to go to Austin, Houston, something big. And I had some weird job interviews. But it basically came down to the potential that I could have being as a financial advisor or a comprehensive financial planner. And AXA was just, it was home to me. The president of Texas, the VP, he came down and interviewed me personally. So that spoke a lot of volume. So when I was applying, it was between Merrill Lynch and AXA. And AXA was just a way better fit. It was a better opportunity. They can help me grow, and I have grown tremendously since day one to today. So I enjoy it and keep getting bigger. Like Mike said, we're in around 86 different countries. And if I need help, I'll call my friends that are in Austin, my fellow advisors. I'll call them in Houston, and they'll, hey Shane, what do you need today? I'm like, hey, I got this case, I'm trying to close it. What do you recommend? How should I go about doing this? And they're there. And they're there to support me. And likewise, I have phone calls right on back. And they say the same thing. Hey, Shane, I have this big case. I need to close it. How do you go about doing that? And we're just a big family. The one thing, what I love about my job it's helping families. I mean, I love it. I usually sit down in evening appointments. One of the big cases that really stood out to me was I had to make $1 off this case, but it really hit hard. It really hit home. This lady, her husband had just passed away. He had cancer. She had a lot. She was in debt, completely in debt. The cancer just ruined her finances. So I sat down with her, and using my accounting methods, using everything that I was able to do with my finances, I helped her uncover assets that she had no idea that she even had, that weren't even left in her name, they're in her husband's name. So we got an attorney, we partnered with an attorney, and we got it all taken care of, and she was able to pay off the debt. 2 weeks later, I landed 2 of my biggest cases because of that woman. I didn't ask for anything, I just wanted to help her. But that's the beauty about this business is if your heart's in the right place, I mean, it'll just take you tremendously. Anyway, so.
I guess I can touch up on little things about how I came to be here. And I started here at UTB as an accounting grad. I didn't want to start with accounting, but I'm really glad that I did. I had a great teacher, Ms. Smith, back there, and many others. She's awesome, as you know. Loved her class. My favorite was advanced accounting. I definitely learned to like it, and she taught it where it was just perfect. And it really helped supplement, I guess, getting an overview of being a business person. And from then on, I went into becoming, to get my BBA in finance. I had a passion for that. I've always been interested in finance. I've read tons and tons and tons of books from Benjamin Graham to Warren Buffett, and it goes on. And so it's always been a passion of mine just to read up on that. And not only that, I've also been associated with a small business. My dad owns a business down the road, actually. And so I've been an office administrator there for some time now. And so I've been helping out the business, working as a security officer towards a technician, towards actually managing the books and helping out in that area. So I've gotten to work with the business, and I really like it, but it still wasn't what I wanted to do. And I currently not only currently still do that, I'm also a chess coach at Sharp Elementary. And so I go ahead and put that on my plate as well. But just recently, actually, I had the opportunity to sit down with one of my leaders, and I had the opportunity to become what I always wanted to be, a financial planner, as well as one day a financial analyst, and actually a lot more than that. But that's sometime down the road. And so I started with Primerica actually not too long ago. It was about 5 months ago, and right at that moment, I was kind of hesitant. I wasn't too sure what type of company I'll be a part of, but I sat down with him, and of course he showed me how big they are, what they do, and how many people they're currently helping. And he showed me exactly the step-by-step process as far as being able to own your own business. That's one of the hugest things that I've always wanted to do. Being able to own my own business. I currently own my own business, and any type of money I make down the road, I accumulate wealth, help families out. I can definitely sell that back one day, and it was just like a lot of opportunity that was presented to me. And as my father, he owns his own business, and so it was always something I wanted to do. Another thing, the licenses, you provide value for yourself. You get Series 6, 63, you're able to sell life insurance. And it goes on from there. I mean, one day a stockbroker, another day I want to eventually one day become a chartered financial analyst. And that's a big, big goal of mine, and definitely want to achieve that down the road. He definitely showed me how I can use everything I know from finance and to help become, I guess, a better financial planner and help out his company grow his team. And we have a great team I work with. We go throughout as I said, we go throughout the districts making these presentations. Many people don't know what they have. There's policies in place. There is different types of financial analysts that or financial planners that go and sell a product and then they leave, And we're trying to change that. We're trying to actually educate these families, these individuals, and prepare for retirement and get financially independent. And that's just a little bit, I guess, more about myself.
So we asked some of our members here today, what was some things they would like to know from you that you have more experience and you have entered the workforce. And one of them was, what did you learn in school that you have actually begun to apply in the workforce today?
Dedication. In school, you guys are probably going through this. You guys have midterms probably coming up next week or next month or something, and you're working you're studying until maybe 2 in the morning. It's a lot similar with work, but instead of grades, you get paid. That's the thing that I enjoy. But yeah, you put the time in. And I remember taking my ethics class, Miss Alceda, and she would always say, just because they're going to pay you X amount of dollars doesn't mean you're going to work 40 hours. You're going to work 80-hour weeks. Like Marco, said, the truth is that it becomes your business eventually. That your clients, you get to help them. So I'm always on the clock, and I love it. Everything when it comes to soft skills, when it came to working with the accounting society, people skills, that really helped out a lot too. Listening, respectful, all that really came into play. So.
What was the question? Sorry.
What did you learn in school that you're applying in your work today?
I'm not too sure. Finance classes helped, accounting helped. I try to always be a well-rounded person, so I was always getting involved, especially under Andres. We try to, under him, we had the accounting society, and always doing charity work, helping out different places. Hosting a QuickBooks seminar, that was great. You get to be able to learn things, different skills, whether it be presenting information, educating, or just on a personal basis, talking to different people. And it's just I couldn't really say too much on what exactly I guess focus on, but it takes a lot of hard work, of course, sticking to it, and just keep going. Just keep going no matter what.
So I'm really glad that you touched on that, like the accounting society and the QuickBooks, because another question was, did you have like any internships or activities like the accounting society or any qualifications that when you went to an interview, that really attracted your employer to contract?
I definitely took a seminar certification class on QuickBooks, and I went up to McAllen under my father. He, of course, provided that, and learned a little bit about it. It's definitely a great thing on your resume to put down. it's not as crazy as it seems to learn this product. It's, it basically it accounts for transactions, and it's very simple, very user friendly. And every time I went to, whether it be going to an interview for a certain job throughout the valley, it just sparked in their eyes. I mean, you know how to use QuickBooks, you know how to account for information. It looks great on you. I mean, I believe you also worked with it when you're an accounting firm as well. And so it definitely, everyone wants that. It basically separates you from the pack, and more likely you're going to be golden to them. I speak to so many different business owners, and they either don't have their finances in check with their business, and it's really surprising. That's one thing I was explaining last week, actually, is that you all definitely need to step out there in the business, small business world of the valley. You go out there to any business, I promise you, you're going to hit a couple on that day, just by going through these small businesses and asking, here's my resume, I'd like to help out your firm. I actually worked with my coworker for another business to help out fix their books because they had them out of order. And I mean, their books were completely out of order. It was ridiculous. It was definitely ridiculous. And so we sat down, took a couple of weeks after working for my dad full time, and we would work weekends and, just trying to do more, trying to put more value into myself and spread myself throughout the community, helping, it feels good to help out, and it's definitely something that I think Les can touch more on.
Yeah, when I was in college, I worked for a CPA for about 3 years. And I learned the ins and outs of it. I wanted to be a CPA, but I didn't want to be behind the desk all day, so I had done that for 3 years, so that didn't interest me. And when I partnered up with Mike over there, I'm still doing accounting to a certain extent, but I'm dealing with finance as well, and I get to see the impact that it has on my clients. From the perspective of they're saving for retirement, to that they just have a baby, we have a college plan in place, or we're protecting their family to some extent. These are the things that all that accounting comes into, when it comes into budgeting. So I would really strongly encourage you guys to go out, work for, like Marco said, work for a small business, do an internship, get the experience out there, because that's what employers are looking for. And when I had to pay for my series licenses, I did QuickBooks on the side to help pay for my series licenses. I don't know if I already told you that story, but yeah, that's how I paid for my security licenses. So.
Would you have wanted to do anything different before graduating? Any extra activity that you would have wanted to take on, or any leadership? You both took leadership positions, but any extracurricular activities that you thought maybe I should have added this in my resume and I would have gotten more out of it today?
Well, I mean, one thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have started this earlier. I mean, exactly this position, you probably would say the same thing. I mean, start off right at the back. I actually took a lot of time to actually go to this company and become a representative for them. I wish I would have started earlier, seeing and meeting people on a daily basis, making small presentations, explaining our company, who we are, what we do, and how we can help. I mean, this is something I wish I would have done 4 years ago, or even longer. Get off the back, make presentations, meet people, meet different clients, and definitely help many families. I wish I would have started this earlier. One thing I thought I was going to be doing actually was about 1.5 years ago, I was going to be working as a business management analyst for the city of Fort Worth, and I actually didn't continue. I had a great interview with them. Awesome people. The CFO was a great guy, and he called me back saying they wanted me to apply for the business management analyst position. And I had a lot of work going on with my dad, and I decided, I didn't want to kind of take that leap into accounting. It's something that I didn't have a passion for. I love it, but my passion is completely, it's finance. And so I decided to stick through it and kind of work on just basically waiting for an opportunity to arise in the finance industry. And then this came along. And so.
What I would do is I joined the accounting society my last semester at UTB, but I wish I would have done it earlier, like a lot earlier. And I would tell, the officers the same thing, that what you guys have going on right now is a really, really good thing. you're in the middle of your college experience, having people like Mark and myself come up here and talk about our stories, what you guys can do better, because if I had a time machine, there's a couple of things that I would change. Maybe take my GMAT a year earlier than I did, my last semester of college. There's so many things. The other thing is volunteer at organizations like the United Way. I volunteer my time at the United Way to this day, and that's how you get to meet a lot of people. And there's so many nonprofit organizations out there that all you guys need is a foot in the door. And what most companies won't do is they won't pay you, but if you volunteer maybe 2 days out of the week, gets your foot in the door, that will open up so many opportunities for you guys.
Yeah, I guess to touch up a little more on this fact is that I think most of y'all were here last week when we had the nominee Cesar de Leon come and speak, and so he was here and he's running for city commissioner. One of the things he's trying to do is definitely encourage definitely the youth to come and be part of what he's trying to do. He's trying to make an impact in Brownsville, and so if you definitely want to become part of it, I mean, you can definitely talk with me, and you definitely meet a lot of people. You go and meet people door to door, trying to spread his voice, and it's a great thing. I mean, you get to meet tons and tons and tons of people, and basically, like you said, get your foot in the door, and you're doing a good thing. I mean, one of the craziest stats I hear is the fact that we have about 4,000 people voting, and we have over 180,000 people in Brownsville. That's crazy to me. I want to see like the youth get involved, get registered to vote, and make an impact. Whether if you're this candidate or this candidate, as long as you're getting active and definitely try to step up your game and do that.
One thing that you both mentioned was that you get to meet people, and it's really important meeting them. And one thing that we're trying to push by attending the Student Leadership Conference or the IMA Texas Annual Conference is that you get to meet professionals. So we're really pushing our members to emphasize the networking either here in the Valley or with outside of the city. So how important would you say is networking for you?
That's the job right there, is networking. It just comes down to whether you can help them. I mean, you can truly help them, and if they like you and they want to do business with you. I don't sit behind a desk all day and I just wait for people to come. With this job, you have to go out, you have to go look for them. They have to like you on the spot, and you have to gauge their interest. So networking is key. And like I said, you're always on the clock. Even on a Saturday when you're at Target, grocery shopping, you bumped into someone that you met the other day, and just the fact that you remembered them, hey, remember we spoke for about a couple minutes the other day, it goes a long way. So networking at fundraisers, I would recommend going to as many networking events as possible, whatever it is that you're looking for, because the reality is we're all selling something. You guys are selling, yourselves to these professionals that are looking to hire someone. So
Yeah, I mean, I think you said a lot of it. I mean, communication is key, and you definitely have to communicate your way in any business, whether it be the health industry or another industry. I mean, you have to be able to communicate yourself, sell yourself, and definitely try to be the best person you can be. And, not too much more than that, I'd say.
You both mentioned what your dream jobs would be or what your goals are, but how do you plan to actually obtain those goals? Like, what are some projects that you would take on or things that you would do to get there?
Education, that's the big one. I remember before starting, undergrad at UTB, they're like, oh, you want to be a CPA? Well, you got to get a 4-year degree, then you got to get a master's or maybe dual major, then you got to sit for the CPA exam, and then you got to get certified, and then you got to take this certification, and it just sounded like, man, it's never gonna end. But let me tell you something: being certified is the funnest thing in the world. That's how I outbeat my competitors. I got my degree in accounting. Most of the people in my market or my competitors don't have a college degree. So that's one. And especially an accounting degree, that speaks volumes. The other thing too is Access spends so much money on us being certified on a whole different levels. But it's just something else to add to the business card, something else to add to your resume. So when your client is there, like, why should I go with advisor A or with you? I'm like, oh, because advisor A doesn't know, but I know because of education. So Access' main point is education. It's educating our advisors as best as we can, because they're going to go out there and produce more, and it's going to help their clients and their families at the end of the day.
Another thing was, do you feel accomplished after graduating? Do you feel that you have met your goals so far?
I definitely don't feel I've met my goals. One of the things I said already is that not only want to be a full-fledged financial advisor, is I definitely want to achieve the charter of the financial analyst designation, and that would be golden for me. I mean, that's my true goal. I want to get to that and be able to work anywhere in the world, whether it be in corporate finance or stay in this. I mean, I love this, but I would definitely like to touch up on different areas of finance. And that's one thing that designation gives you the opportunity to do. One thing I also want to do, I mean, my main goal, maybe 15 years out, 20 years out, is become a hedge fund manager. Definitely open up my own practice, but this company seems great enough, and I love the opportunity. I mean, like we said before, designations make who you are. It gives you credibility, and that's something that you definitely need to understand. Credibility is amazing, and especially to get that contact with that client or that person you're talking with, it's just an added plus. And one thing, when I was starting to venture out into this business, I asked, like how much would it take to start all this? And well, the great thing about Primerica is they actually pay for your licenses, so that was a great plus. I'm like, well, it's kind of hesitant. I have a friend of mine actually working for Waddell & Reed, a huge company, and right now I think he needs to pay over $1,000-something for his type of licenses. I don't have to pay for that. And of course, there's more that you can, of course, obtain, and you might also want to stretch out even more and try to just get more designated. You have to pay for it, but it gets you started. It gives you value, and it was a great thing. And so that was definitely a plus for me. And of course, yeah. That's about it.
One thing that a member wanted to know from you, Marco, was that he saw that you were working with a marketing organization. So he wanted to see how you linked the marketing and the accounting in your profession.
Okay, well, one of the things that we do is that we're affiliated with many different companies. We don't even have our products to sell. We have many different products, and what we try to do is not only sell a product, we try to find a solution to solve, their financial problems. And so whether it be life insurance or, retirement, or trying to see what policy they have in place, we definitely try to educate them and show them what's better. But as far as marketing, maybe we market different financial products from companies such as MetLife, like Mason, Lincoln, a couple products from AXA Group, variable annuities, and the list goes on and on. And so it's one thing that we have the access to these type of products to actually, have them bid, have them, provide the best product for you, whatever fits, your needs, whatever's suitable. And so we have a lot of access to these type of products, and definitely an advantage in the industry. And so it's definitely awesome to be working with this company.
So if you were to be sitting where we are today, what is any advice or tips that you would have wanted to know at the time?
Go meet as many people as you can in some capacity. Go to a United Way, a nonprofit organization. Find the person in charge of the accounting department, because there you're going to meet the person in charge of Camden County, or the person in charge of VIC, or someone part of the State Department, and they already know you. You got to hire someone. So you're going to hire a stranger or someone that you've seen work for a couple months. Yeah, I like them. So that would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, go out there, get to know people. I mean, whether it be Nora going out there and speaking with many different professionals, I mean, that's networking right there and then. I mean, Andres did the same thing. He was the president. He went out there and just, made contact and persistency. Yeah, that was something that he had to definitely be part of. I mean, you have to go out there and be persistent in what you want, and put a smile on, and try to make an impact as far as in yourself, trying to definitely create yourself and help others is definitely a big thing. One of the things I wanted to ask is that how many marketers do we have here? One? How many accounting students? So majority of you are accounting, okay, yeah. So you definitely would be interested in QuickBooks, right? That's definitely something, yeah, that'll be gold in your resume. Okay, yeah. Just wanted to know, sorry.
So one of the things that I think all of us in the room here really care about is our GPA. How much emphasis or how much relevance did it have after graduating?
Okay, so my GPA wasn't the strongest, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because once you pass your licenses and you're certified, you're certified. So I don't know if that was that a
I think no matter what capacity you're in, you have to have a good GPA, a decent GPA. The reality is, what's that?
What do you consider?
A 3.0 or above. Once you're in the twos, you get looked at a little bit differently.
you have to be a sweet talker when you're in the twos.
The reality is, both these positions are sales careers. So at the end of the day, I would rather hire someone with a 2.5 GPA, but they can hold a conversation with anybody, as opposed to a 4.0 student that gets nervous talking in front of people. So at the end of the day, GPA is crucial, but it depends if you're going into a corporate environment or in a sales career. I think there's a little bit more leeway. Well, I know there's more leeway in a sales career, but I traditionally look at 3.0 and above. Like I said, at 2.0, you're gonna have a little bit of a struggle, or you're gonna have to start at really an entry level position.
Yeah, like once you have your designation, it basically it replaces your GPA right away. I mean, you're gonna be like that CPA. I mean, you're not gonna even look. You have a CPA, you're gonna be hired. Like as long as you fit the other requirements, definitely better than the other people applying. But CPA, it defeats what the GPA tries to stress on you. Like you're a 2.0 student. So, yeah.
But without the GPA, I mean, there's a lack of an opportunity. So don't be like me and just be like, oh, I'll just graduate, do something. Go.
Start learning now.
Yeah.
Start learning now.
Put that GPA up so you get a better opportunity.
Yeah.
So now we open the panel discussion to you. You can ask any questions to them.
So you both graduated from UTB. Did in any point of your life cross your mind to go out there and say oh, I want to go to UT Austin, or I want to go to another state, and if you ever thought so, do you think that it will change what you are now, as a professional?
It might have. My last semester, I was applying to get an MBA, and I was gonna go into Illinois. And the opportunity was there, but like I tell people, and I speak to some people that are gonna get ready to go to college. I say, dictate to the college what you want to do. Don't let the college dictate what you want to do. So yeah, it would have been awesome to have a degree from UT Austin, but they were ranked the number 12 top business school in the country at the time. So that was a little tough to get into with my unknown GPA. And then, not to mention the accounting program, which is I was an accounting major, they're the number 1 program in the country.
Yeah.
So, but Ms. Schmidt told us, it's the same textbooks, same professor. She graduated from UT Austin, and it's the same experience. And like Marco said, the point is when you have a CPA, no one really asks what college did you go to. You have that thrown on the wall so they can see it when they come in, and no one really asks about the GPA. So I'm a big advocate for you determine what you want to do. If you want to be a doctor, there are so many schools that you can go to become a doctor. You have the opportunity. So,
I mean, I came into of course, these finance classes we had here, and not to put them down or anything, but every time I went and stepped in these classes, I felt that I already knew everything they're talking about. I stepped in and I was just like, where's this added value that I was trying to look for? And I never saw it. I never saw it here, and I figured man, I wish I would have actually been motivated in high school to actually apply to these colleges. But I just said, you know what, I'm gonna stick it out here at UTB, kind of go through the things. I'd always read on my own. I'd always do research, articles and stuff. And I had a huge interest, and I just figured I can do it on my own. But I shouldn't have that mentality where I could have done it on my own. I should have went there out and actually, go to UT or go A&M or go to Louisiana. These basically these programs you have out there at Texas Tech, where they have it affiliated with CFA charter I want to obtain. And we try to schedule these classes that were like 75% or more of the class is actually going to be towards the CFA charter. I mean, in this charter that if you ever receive, it's like an 8.0. I mean, that's what it does to you. I mean, you can go work in Austria, Australia. They don't have this, U.S. GAAP and IFRS. It's basically conversion around the world, and it's a little different than the accounting world. And so, yeah, it was definitely different.
I have a question. So the gentleman who works over in Access, in relation to maybe a foreign student, does Access sponsor working visas?
It's a great question. Unfortunately, right now they don't. I've been trying to push with HQ to get that done, but it's a challenge with FINRA, which is a self-regulatory organization that oversees advisory service licenses, and that's where there's a challenge. But I recruit a lot at the career fairs, and I'm very upfront to say, no, we can. But I think there's some potential opportunity down the road, because there's some phenomenal international students who'd love to have in the group, but we just can't do it right now.
One thing I wanted to say is that many of y'all probably looking for an opportunity. One of the things why I did this is for the fact that flexibility of time was a huge thing, and it's the fact that I wanted to, of course, love what I was doing. And so many people these days, they have basically their lives revolved around their jobs, and it's kind of the opposite thing. Basically, our job revolves around our life, but it gets to a point where you really want to go out there and help people out. I mean, I have team members that are working hard. I mean, we go out there, and before you know it, it's not even a job. You're just going out there, you're just helping people out, and it's amazing. I mean, it's one of the things everyone wants: flexibility of time. And if you're able to make money while doing that, I mean, it's an amazing thing to do. And another thing, owning, being able to own your own business. I mean, that's just a huge thing that was for me. And being able to one day sell this, if I wanted to sell it, my company 10 times the amount it was worth back to Primerica. That was just like, wow, I can do that. Or whether it be will my business to my kid. And that was definitely something that kind of grabbed me and was just like, hey, I might pass away, but I still have this recurring income coming in, that can be willed to my kid. And these are just highlighted points that I was being able to see, and just I need to step on. One of the things that many people do is that they're like, well, I don't have those skills. I don't have that ability to do these things. One of the things I always stress is just go ahead, say yes, learn later. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, it's one of my idols, Richard Branson. He's the founder of Virgin Group. They have over 400 different companies established under them. And he just always says yes. Doesn't know what he can do it or not. He goes, sets up probably a new company for that. I mean, it's just amazing. It's someone I look up to, and you just got to go out there and be like, maybe I'm not fit for this job. I'm gonna go ahead and apply anyways. I'm gonna learn. Definitely stress that. Go out there, be active, and you'll learn eventually. You'll have to.
I have a question. The retention rate for financial advisors over 4 years?
No.
So I bring it up purposefully.
Yeah.
Because there's very few individuals that have the skill set required to be successful in this business. So the 4-year retention rate for a financial advisor is 11%. So that means 10 start, 1 is actually going to make it. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but the reality is this is an extremely rewarding career, but I'm constantly interviewing folks for this opportunity, and I don't give it to everybody. But this is a very challenging career, and I'm trying to convey that if this is something that you want to do, you really have to be passionate. By hearing these two gentlemen talk, you can tell they have passion for this career, or else they wouldn't be doing it. Because it is a very, very challenging career, and it's a sales career. And for those individuals who want a corporate job, there's nothing wrong with that. This is an entrepreneurship type position, and I think that should be conveyed to those that are interested in this career path, because financial services is such a broad industry. You could be doing finance for AmFels in their accounting and finance department, or you could be doing it for BISD. So this is an entrepreneur type career, And I just wanted to bring that up so that everybody understands that there's people that are amazing on the corporate side. They want 40-hour work weeks, they want a steady paycheck, they want 2 weeks vacation. Well, there's people like us that we want to work 80 hours per week. And we want to be compensated for our hard work and dedication. And that's this type of career. And I'm constantly interviewing people, and there's a tendency for people to want, I want to make $45,000 a year and work 40 hours a week. This is not it. And so I'm very transparent with people that I meet with, because there's a tendency to say, like, I want to be a financial advisor, I want to be a wealth manager, I want to wear a suit every day. But the reality is 11% is a retention. And I think I felt obligated to bring that up because it's not easy. Both these people, I just met you today, but they work extremely hard. And I think that's just something that I wanted to bring up so that everybody understands that it's not an easy career path, but if you put in the effort, it will provide you more things than you ever imagined. Not only, like I said, the financial success, but the emotional reward you get from helping all these people. This job will provide significance. And there's very few careers that can have that type of impact, in my opinion.
When you were studying for accounting, did you want to be a CPA, like to become a CPA?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't actually have finance back here in the day when 09, I think it was 09, they actually got rid of it. And so I was just like, man, I should have definitely went to a school oriented around finance, you know? Like my dream that I wanted to achieve is now just like, well, I guess I'll become an accountant now. And then my dad would be happy. He wants me to own the business. I mean, I guess I could do that, right? And so I kind of like led myself to be in accounting. And then, of course, after doing it, I saw like, man, I love accounting. I love it. It's going to help like benefit and supplement finance. Why? Because you actually go in to these books, the financial statements, and you actually see them, and you actually know how, like, basically how the business functions. Like, why is being able to compare why business succeeds and why one fails. It was amazing. And so I thought, like, you know what, I can become a CPA. I actually started studying for it. I started studying and I started reading my own books again and going off, highlighting sections. And then all of a sudden, they actually brought back in finance. So I went ahead and got my bachelor's in finance as well. And then I just like, no, stick back what you want, you know. I had the opportunity to actually 2 different companies and amazing companies for accounting. And I just decided not to take it. Why? Because I didn't want to be stuck in like this job where I don't want to be working these 40-hour work week schedule. I want to be probably working with traveling here to meet this person, help this family out, go meet this person, make my own hours, make my own time and money. And that really had an interest in me. And so I stuck it out, and now I'm kind of venturing out in this new thing. So I'm continuing to learn and basically try to create wealth for myself, real value.
Yeah, like I said, I did it before I became an accounting major. I said, oh yeah, I was just gonna be a CPA, and then I worked for a CPA, and I finished the receipts and reports, and they're like, oh, you finished this? And I was like, yeah, not too bad. Like, okay, well, here you go. You can take this company now and enter those. So I didn't like it too much, and you know, the whole 40-hour work week. You know, you're gonna make $1,000 or $500 at the end of the week, whatever it is. It's not gonna go up. You're hoping for a bonus or like a raise. It doesn't work like that here, and it really opened my eyes in the world of AXA. When I went, I talked to a friend of mine. He's now a good friend of mine. I call him if I need help with a case. He is 28. How old is he? 28? 29?
I think it's like 26.
Yeah, he's about 26, and he's already making over $150,000, $100,000 a year. And he is the hardest working person I've met. And when he it was like my first month into the business, and he told me, no one will work harder, no one works harder than I do. And he just said it with such a tone that I was just like, whoa, I mean, he means it. And that's the thing I love about my job and my company is I just reach out to someone like Javi. I'm like, hey, you know, what do I do with this? And you know, he'll give him a hard time, like, you don't know what you're doing? I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. But he helps me. And not just him, Mike helps me all the time. I probably bothered Mike, I don't know, like 10 times a day.
Too many.
Yeah, so, but no, that's something to look forward to is the business, and yeah, 11% is a scary number, but the way it's set up, the right company is going to set you up to succeed and not to fail. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Anything else that you would like to add into the students?
One thing I would like to say is that if you all have definitely a passion for accounting, is that one thing I would advise Nora to do is to talk with one of the professors over there at the UT, like how we did how we went up there.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you've already done that. That was an amazing experience to sit down with those individuals, bright minds, and it was, I think, accounting research.
It was a master's class.
Yeah, PhD.
Yeah, PhD. Oh, yeah, my PhD.
Yeah, it's PhD. You know, man, like I've heard people talk, you know, multi-billionaires, but these guys just bright minds. You know, they don't get paid like the other guys, but I mean, how they talked, it was definitely an experience to see, like, you know, like kind of like set the bar. Like I want to be there. I want to be talking like them. How they fluently speak. I mean, it was just an amazing experience, especially in the accounting world. And I would definitely recommend to go sit down in one of those classes. It would be definitely something an advantage for all of you.
I have a question for this.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the kind of work that you do, the kind of people that you meet, people that are, I would say, not a low income class. Would you say it's difficult for somebody that has a job, let's say at a retail store making $9 an hour, to try to shoot for something like AXA and then go straight into something where you're obviously you're gonna have a profile that you're gonna build up as far as your clients. But to jump from something, I mean, I guess if you have the skill of networking and meeting people, I guess that might help you. But is it a big barrier to break through? Have to go to something from making that, you know, lower income to something a little bit higher?
Not at all. CPA firm. I used to be a greeter at the Gap, so I had to talk to people all day, but it really helped. Like I said, barriers, they don't exist. They're in everyone's mind. If you want something, you want to do it, you will find a way to do it. If you truly want something, and you know, people say like, yeah, like I mean, I kind of want it, like I kind of want to make $1 million, then you're not gonna do it. The first little obstacle that you put in your head. It's like, oh no, it's cold outside. I'm just gonna stay in today. But if you want to do it, you'll say, you know what? I'll just wear another coat. You know what? I'll get up earlier. You'll find a way to do it, and you'll get it done. So,
I guess to bring a little more into that is that I'm not currently working as much hours as Andres. I'm currently still working a lot of time under my dad and his small business. And so all this I'm doing is after hours, you know, scheduling throughout lunch or talking with someone at lunch, making these appointments at night. It's something I put on my off time. And so that's something I'm currently doing. And it's definitely something I'm going to transition to full time. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Thank you.
I was going to add on to that. I think it really goes down to, because I've been in financial services for 10 years. Started with Merrill Lynch, and then I went over to AXA, and a couple of years ago I was appointed to VP. So I started when I double majored in finance and accounting at UTSA. So I have experience, but one of my biggest fears, we all have fears going into business like this, is I'm too young. I think I was 22. And so I said, if I'm sitting down with someone that has $500,000 portfolio, why are they gonna give it to me? Like, I'm just a kid. And I remember speaking to a big producer from Merrill Lynch. He managed over $100 million. And, excuse my French, he says, do you want to look like an ass in front of yourself with someone with low net worth or high net worth? Like, I'd rather look like an ass in front of someone with low net worth. So he says, he's like, you're still too young and you need to learn the business. And when somebody that's 60 years old sits in front of you and they see that there's no ring on your finger, you haven't gone through life's experiences where you haven't had to necessarily provide for a family, you haven't had to, pay a mortgage or what have you. And so the biggest thing he told me is you have to educate yourself as much as possible. And so that's what I did. I'm in the final stage of becoming a CFP. And from day one, that's what I said I was going to do. Is like, I'm going to get all these designations, like they mentioned, because once you start educating somebody, the whole 23, 24-year-old, they don't care because it's all about knowledge. And if you can help somebody minimize their tax liability by $200,000, they don't care if you're 15. So the reality is in this business is the one who puts in the effort, who's a student of the game, and educates themselves, that's only going to benefit the prospect or the client. So going back to your initial question, in regards to access, I don't know how Primerica works necessarily, but we put a lot of money. We're sending our associates national conferences and picking up the tab on a lot of things so they can get educated, so that when they do have that conversation, they're not fearful. And so we built a phenomenal platform for a young person like myself out of college to come out and be successful. And it doesn't matter if you're 20, 21. Our top associate in the state was 25 years old, came out of Texas A&M. His first year, he did almost $400,000 in income. Grantee's in Austin, but there's still tremendous opportunity in South Texas. So if I had to sum it up, in this business, if you have the acumen and you're smart, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. It's my favorite question is, but you're young, how old are you? 25. So most of the people that I'll meet with, they're between like 40, 55. Their advisors are 55. Tell me, like Mike said, once you kind of show them what you're able to do for them, you show them things that their advisor hasn't done in a while, they'll listen. And that age goes out the door. I got asked that question last week. So why should I go with you? You're a kid. You haven't gone through life's experiences. And I said, well, because your advisor is 58 years old and I'm 25. I'm the kid who will call you, who will get it done. You call me and I'll be right there. Your advisor's going to retire in 2 to 3 years. So when you're retired, you're going to call me or you're going to call the 1-800 number with your ex-advisor. So.
One thing that I personally am really big about is about motivation. So I would like to know what motivates you.
I am big on our community. Brownsville is huge, or the Rio Grande Valley is huge. So I've always kind of grown up, my friends, went to different schools and said, nah, I don't want to live in Brownsville, it's boring, this and that. People here need so much help. And I just think, why not me? Why can't I help them? And I do every day. I get up, I sit down with families, and we just come up with plans, sophisticated plans for them. So I know that they're going to be well taken care of when they're older, that they've saved enough for retirement, that their children are going to have enough money to go to college to the school that they choose. That's awesome. And if something happens, which thank God nothing has happened to any of my clients yet, but if they were to pass away, that their spouse is going to be okay because we've had checkpoints and everything in their financial plan to prepare for these things. So it's just preparing and helping my clients the best as I can. That's what drives me to get up every day in the morning and work till 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes.
Many things. Okay, let's see. Besides innovators such as Elon Musk and Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham, these huge success, stories that, how they helped out many different people, helped out their organization, build it up, created hundreds of different companies. It's just something that, like, all these different companies are helping out society in some way. And I wanted to be part of a company that does that too. And so here in Brownsville, we have 90% of the people, maybe more, that need help. And then they need help, and I see it as on a daily basis. There's many people that there's some little gap, or there's a huge gap in their financial planning. And it's just, my family and many other families have been affected with losses in their portfolio from, 08 collapse or the 01, or it goes on and on and on. And or, they weren't properly managed. And it's just something I want to be able to work with them and to show them that I'm going to be there for them. And like they can rely on me to be there from 100%, whether it be at night, in the morning, or I have to rearrange my schedule. That's what I do a lot. I'm able to, fortunately. So, but yeah, just helping others gain economic, prosperity.
Are there any questions or comments left? Okay, then this concludes the end of our meeting. Thank you very much. Please remember that next Thursday, we're gonna have a Texas Society CPA guest speaker. And so you can please join us, and we're also gonna be handing out more free Texas Society CPA applications if you want to join. Thank you.
I know, dude. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.